Okay, now here's an introduction into the lesson today. Find the product. Okay, we've got x minus 4 times x plus 9. So here's a minus, or no, they're minus and plus. Okay, so I distribute the x first to x, then to 9. Then after I go negative 4, okay, and I distribute it to the same two things. So x squared, 9x, negative 4x, negative 36. Okay. Alright, so blank x squared plus blank x plus blank. Now x squared would be a 1, so 1x squared. 9 and negative 4 would make 5, and then negative 36. Now write that so it's cleaner. First off, if you have a 1 in front of the x, make it x squared plus 5x and then minus 36. That's the clean expression. I'll put a 1 there to start with, but then I drop it. Okay. Alright, the next one. Fortunately, my battery didn't fall out there. X minus 7 times x minus 4. So I take x times x, then I distribute x to negative 4. That's been distributed. Now negative 7 times the same two things, times x times negative 4. So x squared, negative 4, x with negative 7. These two are like terms, and then 28 constant. Okay, so I got x, 1x to the second, negative 4, negative 7 is negative 11, and then 28. Now write that so it's cleaner. You're going to drop the 1 and just write x to the second. Then plus negative we write as minus 11x, and then plus 28. Now in this assignment what you're doing is taking this and getting back to the two parentheses. It's a process known as factoring. Okay? Now yesterday we factored a and b quadratic expressions to solve. Now you're going to see something different. So factor the expression. Okay, so we have find the product. No, never mind, sorry. X squared plus 10x plus 16. Spacing off a little bit there. Okay, this is how you factor. Now, you have an A. A is an implied 1. Put a 1 in parentheses there, okay? A is an implied 1, and then there's a B, but now there's a constant. There's a C. That wasn't there yesterday. This is how you do ABC. First off, go off to the side and write GCF. Now on your multiplication chart, 1, 10, and 16, because that's why you put the 1 there. Those are only in the first row, okay? So having a GCF of 1 is pointless to even make that box, because dividing them by 1, that keeps it the same, okay? Then you're going to make a T table, and you're going to make two parentheses. So this was x to the second, so we know that that's x times x. I kind of just ignore the 1 now. Now, I draw a line from my A to my C, okay? 1 times 6, actually make it over here, okay? 1 times 16 is 16. Now it's positive. You need to put a positive. Positive 1 times positive 16 is positive. And I need to add to the B, the middle term, which is positive 10, okay? All right, now these two factors have to multiply to positive 16. Now we can do a negative times a negative or a positive times a positive. Now what I like to do is start with a negative negative, and if they add up to the wrong sign, I will switch it to positive positive. Now let's start listing factors of 16. 16 divided by. First divide by 1. 16 divided by 1 is 16. Those do not add to 10, those add to negative 17. That's not even close. 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Okay. Now let's add negative 2 to negative 8. That's negative 10. Now we need positive 10. Well, that's easily fixable. I'll just make the signs opposite. So it's x plus 2 times x plus 8. Okay, and that's the answer. All right, next one. x to the second minus 13x plus 36. So you got a, with a is an implied 1. Put the 1 in parentheses. Then b, then c. Okay, GCF. You always need to look for GCF first on an ABC. 1, 13, and 36 would just be 1. Now, some of you might be wondering, why aren't you putting x with the 1? You did yesterday. That's because you have this c that don't have an x. See, yesterday you had an a and a b, and each one of those had some type of x. Today we have 36. That don't have an x. Okay, so it's just 1. Same with this one. I just put 1 because 1, 10, and 16 is 1, but x is not multiplied by all of the terms. You have this constant here without an x. Okay, so GCF1 means don't even make the box. Okay, then you're going to make a table and you're going to make 2 parentheses. Okay, I would make them under it. I know I didn't on the last one. So take a times c. That's 36. Positive again. So put negative, negative. If it's positive, the signs have to match, and they have to add to negative 13. So divide by 1. That isn't even close. Okay. 36 divided by 2. Don't divide with negatives, just divide with positives. 18. Add those, that's negative 20. Nope. Negative, negative. Divide 36 by 3. It's 12. Getting closer, okay? Not there yet. Then add them. Negative 15. Now, 36 divided by 4 is 9, okay? So 4, 9. I found it, okay? Adding those gives me negative 13. Now, if you have a 1 there, it's just x times x, and then minus 4 times minus 9. Now it's factored, okay? It's like the opposite of the FOIL. Okay, x to the second plus 7x minus 44. Okay, put the implied 1 because you have an A, a B, and a C. So ABC, I put GCF, then I'm going to make the table, and then my 2 parentheses. At this point, we're going to set up ABCs like that. 1, 7, 44, that would just be 1, okay? And x is not common to all 3 because you have this C term now without the x. So it's just 1, an empty 1. So dividing by 1, just 1 is stupid, okay? Okay, 1 times negative 44, this time it's negative. The product between the A and the C is negative. So that will not be a negative negative, that'll be a positive and a negative, okay? So start dividing, and we're adding to try to make positive 7. So again, a positive product's a negative negative. You can always switch it to positive positive, okay? Negative negative was right, that's what I wanted, so I kept the negatives. Now I divide. 44 by 1 is 44. Add them. That ain't even close to 7. Okay. Positive, negative. Divide by 2. 2 and 22. 2 plus negative 22. I'm relatively sure that's not 7. Okay. Cross them out if they don't work. Okay, then we'll put positive, negative. Divide 44 by 3. That is not even a factor because it's not divisible, so you clear it. Don't even put that. 4 and 11. So let's add 4 plus negative 11. Okay, right number, but the wrong sign. Well, that's fixable. I just go then plus 11 and minus 4. If you have the wrong sign, you just switch them to opposite. Okay, with a being 1, I can just write that x squared is x times x, then minus 4 plus 11. Okay, next one. X to the second plus 14x minus 32. I put the implied 1 in parentheses. Put in parentheses because it's there, but you don't see it. ABC. First we do GCF, then we're going to do our table, and then our parentheses. Okay, A is always going to be an implied 1 today. Sometimes A will not be a 1. That's something you'll have to do differently. Okay. Okay, GCF 1, 14, 32. You count the 1, that would just be 1. Okay, 32 doesn't have an X. These two do, but the 32 doesn't, so it's just 1. Okay, so GCF, we're not going to do that. Now, if I found a GCF that would actually change the expression, I would actually make the box and do it, but you know, I don't. A times C, it's going to be negative 32, so a negative, the signs would not match. You'd have a positive times a negative, because that's what makes a negative. We're going to add to positive 14. So divide by 1, you get 32. Add those, that ain't even close. Positive, negative, divide by 2. 32 is divisible by 2, 16. Add those. I think we got something there. Now, right now it's negative 14. To make it positive 14, you make that a plus, and you just flop the signs. Switch them to opposite. Okay, x minus 2 times x plus 16. Okay, same thing on the next part. I'm going to just write the problems as they are. I'm just going to fill out the page. X squared minus 3x minus 28, x squared plus 10x plus 21, x squared plus 2x minus 15, then x squared minus 18x plus 45. These are not equations, they're expressions. So we got an A. You got to do ABC first, okay? Okay, so you want to look at your GCF. Then make your table. And then set up your parentheses. Since A is an implied 1, we can get by with just making 2. Alright, so what do we have? 1, 3, and 28. GCF would just be 1. You can't put an X because you have that C without an X. Okay. Now, if I could do X with it, I'd actually go through with the process. But dividing all those by 1 doesn't change anything. Because if I divide that by 1, that's the same. Well, that's the same. That's the same. 1 times negative 28 is negative 28. So that's a positive times a negative. Okay. We are adding to try to get it to negative 3. 28 divided by 1, that would be 28. That does not add to negative 3. 28 divided by 2 is 14. Add those. That ain't negative 3. Okay, you should know if it works. 28 divided by 3, if I get this, we're not putting it. 28 divided by 4, 7. Put 4, put the number you divided by, and then the answer you got. Now add them. I think that's got to be close. Yup, negative 3, and I want negative 3, so I keep the signs. Okay. Now your A is just an implied 1, so the 1 is like it's not even there. So x plus 4 and x minus 7. Okay, A, B, C. You need to label A. You need to get in the habit of labeling your A, B, C, because when these all come together, you're going to get confused if you don't. So GCF, 1, 10, and 21 would just be 1, and then 21's missing the X, so I can't put X. Okay. Then the table, and then we'll set up the parentheses down here. Okay, 1 times 21. 21, that's positive. Okay. So I got a positive, so that's going to be a negative. The signs have to match. We'll start with them as negatives. We'll switch them to positives if we have to. We're adding to positive 10. So I divide 21 by 1 is 21. That does not add to 10 of any kind. 21 divided by 2, decimal, don't even put it. 3 and 7. This is called your factors chart. Okay, if you add those, you get negative 10. Well, we need positive 10. Well, that's fixable. Plus, plus. Got it. Now that's positive 10. So your A is just a 1, so it's x squared. So x times x plus 3 plus 7. There's your factorization. Okay, implied 1, A, B, C. Okay, GCF again is 1, okay, so negative 15, so it's a negative, so I go positive times negative, and we're adding to try to make positive 2. 15 divided by 1 is 15, adding those does not give you any positive or negative 2. 15 divided by 2 is a decimal, don't even put it, divided by 3 is 5. Now if I add positive 3 and negative 5, okay, it's negative 2, so I'm good with the numbers, I'm just not good with the sign. Well, that's fixable. Plus, minus. Okay, with A being 1 like it is, you can forget the 1. Okay, if it's not a 1, you can't forget it, but x minus 3 plus 5. That'd be x squared, 5x and negative 3x make positive 2x and then negative 15. Okay, last one of these. So, A, B, C. 1 times 40, GCF's 1, by the way, in case you haven't figured it out. We haven't had a GCF of non-1 yet. So 45, that's positive, so it's negative times negative. The signs have to match, okay? Negative times a negative is a positive, so it's positive times positive. Okay, we're adding to get negative 18. So 45 divided by 1 would be 45. There's no way that adds to negative 18. 45 divided by 2, no siree. Okay, 3 and 15. Let's add those. Going to take a negative 3 plus a negative 15, and that's the right number with the right sign, so I don't change the signs. Okay. A is a 1, so you can just drop it, and you're going to have x, and then minus 3, minus 15. Okay. Now, last two examples. Solve for x. Okay, solve the equation for x. We're going to do 4 boxes for each problem. This is the point of this, okay? Okay, here's the first one. Okay, you have a quadratic equation. It's got 2 answers, okay? Because x to the second power. So, first off, I label my A, that's an A term, with an implied 1, that's a B, that's a C. And 0 is nothing, you don't label 0. Okay, if you have ABC like you do with AB, you got to make sure they're all on one side equal to 0. They are, okay? Equals 0, check. Now, do what you just got done doing. GCF, then you're going to, and if that's worth doing, it's just 1, okay? You can't do x because you got 40, so 1 means we're not going to do it. Then we're going to make our table, and we're going to make our parentheses, but after the parentheses, we're going to put equals 0. Okay, so 1 times negative 40 would be negative 40, okay? Okay, so that's a positive times a negative, and I have to add the factors to add up to negative 3. 40 divided by 1 is 40, not even close. 40 divided by 2 would be 20, not even close. 40 divided by 3 is not even an integer, okay? So don't even include that. 40 divided by 4 is 10. Okay, that adds to negative 6. I can feel myself getting closer. 40 divided by 5 is 8. Bingo. Right number, right sign. There you have it. Now, since A is a 1, you can just write that as x times x, and then the negative, because this times this has to be your A, and then this times this has to be your C. Okay, plus 5 minus 8. Okay, the point of that, now you have F1 and F2. So, x plus 5 could equal 0, or x minus 8 could equal 0. So, at minus 5, I get negative 5. Then I add 8, and I get 8. Okay, those are your 2 answers. So when you have an ABC, 0 is not one of the solutions. Okay. All right, next 2, you're finding the x. So label your ABC. So A, B, C. You have a little problem here, though. Okay. You kind of don't have 0. Well, you can get it if you add 6, and you'll have your 0. Now, is there a C over there you can add 6 to? Nope, so plus 6 goes at the end. Okay, so let's talk about this. X squared, you got 1. The implied 1, keep it in parentheses. Then x, you got negative 5, so minus 5. Then the constant, you do your A's first, then your B's, okay, then your C's. A, B, then I do C. I just have plus 6, and I have it equal to 0. Now I'm where I was before, okay? I can go GCF, and again it's 1, okay? So then we go to our table and make the parentheses, okay? But with the equal 0 behind it now. Okay, 1 times 6 gives you 6. Some of you might wonder, why do you times it by 1? Well, you'll see in the next lesson. It's positive, okay? Positive 6. So it'll be a negative times a negative. We want it to add to negative 5. So 6 divided by 1, 6. That adds to negative 7. That doesn't work. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Aha, negative 5. Okay? It's right number, right sign. A is a 1, so we can just write that x squared is x times x. Then the positive 6 minus 2 minus 3. Just imagine me foiling this. I'd have x squared with the 1, negative 3x, negative 2x, that adds to negative 5x, and then plus 6. So x minus 2 could eat, that's f1, that's f2. Okay, then you add your 2, and you get 2, then you add your 3, and you get 3. Okay, there you go.